All right, hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today we are back for another simple signal stream, and I am very excited for today because I always say this every stream. I'm excited, but I'm especially excited today because if you've been in the Telegram, I think I've only really been talking in the private one, but nonetheless, obviously, if you're part of the OG group, if you've been part of the Telegram, you'll be seeing some of my charts, and obviously last stream one. And it's been going pretty well. It's been going pretty well. I can maybe bring some up on stream, actually, when we get to the charts. I'll show you some screenshots of what I've talked about already. I'll be going over what I've talked about already, live. But I'll show you guys, obviously, what I've talked about. But it's been going well so far. We're moving how I've pretty much exactly expected it to be. So I don't think today's going to be any different from any of the other days I've already talked about Bitcoin and where we're going to, and the other coins, this, that, the other. Obviously, the market's followed pretty nicely. Obviously, we had a bit of iffiness last stream because, Bitcoin was moving one way. It seemed like the other coins were moving a different way. Things were kind of going a bit shaky here and there. But regardless, we've kind of moved similar in the market, which is nice. I'm glad we've had, convergence. Yeah, kind of convergence in the market. Because as I was mentioning, obviously last stream, I was saying to you guys, it was a bit weird that the market was looking like it might do different things. Ethereum and Solana were looking to move a bit differently than Bitcoin. I was pretty confused because we're not in a period right now of the market where we should be moving in different locations on different coins. So I'm glad the market has moved. To my dismay or not, whatever of what I've said last stream. I'm glad we're moving uniformly with the market, which is a good thing. Also, I'm feeling a bit iffy today. I'm feeling a bit ill. I don't know why. Just before the stream, I'm a bit here and there. So if I don't have the exact same energy, getting into the stream the entire period until 10 o'clock, I do apologise. Nothing I can really do there. But other than that, two more things. Any coins you want me to cover, after Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the main three coins, obviously do put them in the chat. Type it in there. If you're in the Binance chat, obviously it's a bit faster there, so do put it a couple times, so I can see it and I will write on my list and I can do it. And the last thing is, make sure you check the descriptions out. Useful links down there, mainly the Telegram. The big one, obviously the public one, is where everyone is. If you want to come talk to us, to me, talk to Mike, any of the things on the stream, like charts or whatever questions, just go to Telegram. Not really much more to add to that. I think, what else is there? Maybe OG, if you want to support the channel, like and follow and subscribe. Obviously that's free, so if you want to bump it up a bit, go on to YouTube. $2.99 a month memberships. If you feel like it, obviously, no sweat if you don't want to. It's fine. And also, I don't like taking people off of a different platform to another, but if you do, want to get your chat seen a bit better, come over to YouTube. It's so much easier for me to see your chats. So obviously, if you're feeling like it, come do it. I need you to chat, actually. Let me have a look. Where's my Bugatti on Binance Crypto Warehouse? Oh no, Crypto, welcome to you. $10, please. You're not getting $10. Yeah, okay, that's it really. Okay, let's move on. Let's go on to percentages. I want to see what the coins are doing, what the main coins are doing. You can kind of see based on the hour and the 24-hour. I know we've just gone into the hour 4 minutes ago, but you can kind of see based on the hour and 24-hour what we're kind of doing in the market. We're kind of crabbing a bit. You can see 7-day big numbers, 8.28%, 666 right there. That's some devilish numbers right there. Obviously we've got these big movements on the 7-day, but on the 24-hour we haven't. But interesting, obviously we have dumped a bit more. Obviously we've recovered a bit, but on the grand scheme of things, you can see, Bitcoin came down a bunch. We've had a bit of, like four. I think it was the daily chart I'm looking at. So this is like a bit of movement. Oh no, was it the 4-hour? I can't remember which chart I was looking at, but obviously we came down a bunch of Bitcoin. We've had a bit of hovering. We came down more. We've retraced a bit, which is fine, because as we put a lower high in, we have broken a certain specific line, which I'm going to show, obviously, when we get to it, of significance, which we need to break. Obviously, I've talked about it in the Telegram, so if you're in the OG group, you already know what I'm talking about. And I'll, tell you guys what it is. We've broken it, and we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing right now. And I'm not concerned that we're going to go up anytime soon. I'm not concerned that we're breaking out of rising wedge, and I'm not concerned that we're bouncing right now. We're going to come down continuously. So other than that, percentage prices, 58, 4, 3, 8, doing well. Bitcoin's just hovering here and there. We came down, we've come up, we're doing our thing. 2,520. This is nearby the 2,450 we had for Ethereum anyway. You can see on the on here, if my head's not covering it, we have that come down. We've come up a bit, so you can see we've basically come away from 24.50, which it makes sense because That's the main support, main demand area we had for ages now on Ethereum. If you go back and look at my streams, I've talked about this. Every time I looked at Ethereum, I've talked about that area pretty much. I think, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much every stream, because that was just my significant area which I thought would come to. So on 133, we have come down. Obviously, this was a bit of a shaky one because we've had some coins looking like we're going to go up, some coins looking like we're going to go down. It was a bit of a shaky one last stream, but I'm glad we've moved. Because it'd be weird if the market, some things are going up, some things are going down. It'd be really, really weird for the market to do that. So I'm glad we've done this. Other than, I think that's pretty much it in terms of coin market cap. So I think what we'll do is we are actually going to move on to the charts. So I'm on the daily right now for Bitcoin. I wanted to kind of show, because it's been a while since I've properly shown what my long-term plan is for Bitcoin, or what my long-term thinking is for Bitcoin, and what I kind of believe is going to happen in our movement, and how I think it's going to happen, and more importantly, when it's going to happen, rough time frames and whatnot. So you can see obviously AMD phase. This is really important. This is something which we've gone on for the history of Bitcoin. Basically, this is something really, really important to bear in mind for Bitcoin. Obviously, some things are better than others. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. Doesn't really matter. It's a superstitial. I don't think that's the word. It's kind of I see it every time. Pie in the sky. This main chart. It wasn't really for my main. I wasn't supposed to use this chart, as my main one for Bitcoin, but it turns out I have accidentally started to use it. I think it's a bit cleaner. I think it's nicer. Obviously, you guys can disagree, but it was mainly made for looking at these levels. Now, this is obviously a bit of a funny way of looking at it, but I do have my methods, and that's how I got this. Obviously, I didn't get this out of thin air, so I did get this, with a method. I just sneeze. Oh. Sorry if that was really loud. I could tell I needed a sneeze, but I didn't know if it's going to be now or in 10 minutes. Anyway, got to AMD phase. Obviously, it is a fractal. This is a fractal-based system I'm using this upon. So you can see that the distribution phase we're currently in is a accumulation of another AMD phase within it. And if you zoom in, you'll see AMD phase of AMD phase of AMD phase. It's a fractal thing. Price is fractal in general, if you did not know. So, things can work and kind of like cascade into each other. So, I don't know what I've pressed then, but hopefully I didn't do anything. So currently we're in accumulation phase. We're edging very, very close, aka we're a day away from manipulation phase, which is very, very important. So I think we need, because so basically, okay, what we so desperately need to happen in the manipulation phase is a dump. I don't care how it happens. I don't care how big it is. I don't care where we are. I do not care, because I'm not thinking about the weekly or the bi-weekly. I'm not talking about 2-week time frame. This thing spans till the end of October, 31st of October, Halloween basically. I do not care if between the 3rd of September and the 21st we are falling. I don't care, because what is the most important thing we need to do within the manipulation phase is have a big dump. I know we're dumping right now. We could be early, but if this structure so far follows through, which so far looks pretty good. I've already shown these AMD phases over here. I think I was on the weekly for this though, but regardless, if this is true, and again, this is pie in the sky, so this might not follow through, but my personal thing, and I have seen people talking on Twitter about this timing, like, in September we dump and in October we pump. It's very similar to what I have. We need to have a big dump. Okay, what can happen is maybe following through. Why is it orange? Mike has the same colours. I don't like orange. Pick a better colour, Mike. Come on. We could come into September swinging. 9th of September. We could be continuing down. Over here. But we need. It doesn't matter. Like, okay, we can enter manipulation phase coming down. That doesn't matter. It matters what happens. Like significance, like a turning point, if you know what I mean. So, what we could do, we could come down, we could come up, or like we could like pump and then dump again. Like we need. Basically, entering into this distribution phase at 21st September, we need to resolve either a dump or a pump. We so crucially need to have a dump in the manipulation phase, because that will allow us to absolutely pump in distribution. So this whole, from the 21st September all the way to basically the end of October, and people are all saying, October is the pump month in this current area we're in right now. October's when I'm going to pump. Obviously, I've got an 85k as a personal one from the bull flag. A lot of people have higher. People have 90k. I had 90k at one point as well. Some people have like 100k, 105. It's a big range of what people have. I'm just being conservative in theory. I drew this quite a while ago. This long position from the potential bottom. I'm going to shimmy this up actually now quickly though, because I think we might not come down all the way to this 50k range. I think it might be slightly higher at 51.8. potentially. Obviously, I'm going to get into that in a second. But we need to have a dump in this little area for then to come into the distribution phase in a bullish, attitude, I suppose, because AMD phase accumulation really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna lie. The distribution phase, you see this online all everywhere if you look at AMD phases or people who talk about them. The distribution phase is where it matters really, because that's where you're gonna make your money. This A and the M are just set up really. The accumulation isn't really set up at all. It's kind of just hovering. That's just the acceptance of in the accumulation phase. And if you're seeing a choppiness in here, obviously it doesn't really matter because the method I have used to draw this is basically this. So you can see here, like in this longer term one, you can see accumulations chopping, manipulation, big move downwards, obviously entering into this moving upwards. So what is this distribution phase going to do? Well, over the long term between this and here, we're going to end up higher. It doesn't matter if we come down a bit. The end of the distribution will end higher than 68.5, and I can swear that on my heart that this is going to happen unless something critical happens in the market outside of price action, like the whole world implodes and it explodes, and then half the population disappears into thin air, something like that, like a Thanos thing. That's pretty critical. But what happens is accumulation. You can see we're chopping. We're just doing our thing. We're going up. We're going down. We're going up. We're going down. Manipulation. A nice, smooth, huge move downwards. This entire thing. Obviously, you can see in the end of it, we're moving up. Now, I do say this. I've said this whenever I've looked at AMD phases multiple times. I've said you don't have to span the entirety of manipulation on small time frames potentially, because this is the daily. This is spanning between the 11th of July and the 24th of July. This is a decent period of time for the price to follow exactly how it's supposed to go. So you can span the 2/3 of the manipulation phase of it having its movement. So that's what I'm trying to show here, that we've not quite entered yet, but we need to enter this manipulation. Our significant movement in manipulation has to be downwards. I don't care how it happens. Okay, where we come from, we have to have a significance. What could happen, like I said, though, the first third of manipulation could be moving upwards, but the 2/3 of it could be moving downwards. That's the important part, is what is the main movement of manipulation. If we enter manipulation at, I don't know, let's say 60k, and then we end it, let's say in the area of, 56, or we end it from, that's a 60k, we could end it at 59k. As long as we are negative at the result of manipulation phase, and we've moved down, and we've had a big move down, that is the most important part. And regardless, like I said, fractal, we've already had this A and the M. We're currently moving into the distribution phase now, and our manipulation was majoritively negative, ending up at a negative position. You can see this is where we started at manipulation. We ended below. We ended negative. So our manipulation was a negative movement. So that is the crucial part. So that means we've gone down in manipulation, and now our movement should be upwards. So in this whole distribution, like I've already just said, ending at the 1st of November, we need, 1st of November, we're going to be above us entering into distribution at 68.5. Obviously, I think we're going to be significantly above that at 85k, wherever. But I'm just, stressing the fact that we're going to be positive. So I don't care where we are right now. I care about what happens 21st September onwards. That's all I care about right now. Long term, that is, not like 4 hour or anything. But I've yapped quite a bit though. We've got 15 minutes until we move on to suggested coins. So I'm going to prompt again to the chat. If you've got any coins you want me to cover, do put it in the chat, because I will cover them after I do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I'm going to scroll through the chat there real quick, just to see if anyone's talking. And they aren't. Disappointed. I'm really, really disappointed. This chat is absolutely horrid. Come on. You know what? You could just talk about your day. I don't really care. I want to see some chat, because every time it hurts me, because I'll go into Binance chat and I'll just see the wall of just messages which aren't related. Because I know Mike's putting in comment boxes. That's fair enough. But if you've got something to say, even if it's not even related to crypto, just say it. Why not? So yeah, that's the daily. I just want to give that analysis again. I just want to give a big update onto what I'm feeling about that AMD phase and whatnot. So this is what we're currently in right now. We've got these prices. I said in the Telegram, I think around 59k is where we're going to see our next top. Obviously, this is the hourly, by the way. Currently, obviously, if we go to the 4 hour, this is our range. You can see, we've got this going on pretty much right now. This is our movement. So my thing, which I said in the Telegram, was I think 59k is our rough area, around there. You can see our high is, you know, here for example, is 58,821. So we're roughly in this area of 59k. Obviously, 58.9 is probably more applicable because of this order block we have. I don't know what order block time frame this is, but we have it nonetheless. So we were pretty right there. This other thing I said was, you know what, I'll show this on the screen on the stream actually if I get Telegram up, because this was just lovely to see. Let me get up the OG chat and have a little nosy. Okay, I think this is. I can just screenshot this. I can show you guys what I was talking about. So this is what I said in the Telegram. I drew this line. Okay, still on the stream. That's good. Yeah, here it was. Let me screenshot this message. There we go. So, basically, I screenshotted this. And I said, okay, well, cool. We've got this big, significant, you know, area of liquidity. You know, here. We've got this huge wicks consistently staying in this area. If we go below this, we're gonna have a fast move back upwards, and then we're gonna go below it. So obviously, if I get rid of that, obviously, like I said, this is what we're waiting for. We had that big move downwards, and then we came up. Obviously, if I shimmy back now, this was our line here. You know, it's 4 basically, wherever it was. I think I messaged a bit earlier in the day, so pretty fast turnaround. But you know, even if I go to this was the cool part about it was how fast it happened. You know, this is the 3 minute, and it literally just came down, came up, and it came all the way back up really quickly. You know, it goes to like 15 minute, whatever. Like, it's so fast. Like, you can see like big candle downwards. This was okay, cool. You're watching the charts, boom, come down. Immediately just continued all the way back up to our previous area where we could have highs. You can see here, you know, really good off this order block we have back here. And obviously then we bounced off it, came back to it, bounced off it again. Have this, you know, pretty good double high here where we're, or double top, where we're going to kind of, you know, continue to come downwards again. So if we go back to the 1 hour, that was what I was basically looking at as, you know, where I was not concerned at, but where I was concerning myself with in terms of the charts. So we've already used this, we can delete it now. But the next thing I actually looked at is this rejection block we have on the 4 hour. So we formed this. This is from our sweep within this 2 p.m. to, you know, 4 or 5, whenever it was. Although, well, technically it'd be 4 hours from 2. So obviously it's going to be spanning towards 6 p.m. So that rough range from when we wicked all the way down, came all the way back up, we formed a really nice rejection block. And as you can see what happened, we obviously came all the way back up, found our resistance. Back at this old block which we've had for ages, came back down, came to this rejection block, came to the bottom of it, and then came up. So this is going to obviously invalidate it. So this is another good entry. So you've got obviously this this liquidity sweep. So you could probably wait for, because you know, okay, so either you catch the liquidity sweep, that's how you're watching the charts, you either catch it or you put a limit buy below the liquidity so you can get the long up, or you short from the resistance line you already have. Or when you see this rejection block, you go, okay, cool, we've come to resistance, we're gonna come into this rejection block as support. Now that I know we're going to go to either the midpoint or, let's say, the bottom, obviously in this case the bottom, 56, 150, I know then, rejection block, we're going to come to, you know, this, you know, demand area, we're going to, you know, fill it, not saying it's a fair value gap, but we're going to fill it, and then we're going to continue on upwards. So this is another good entry to long at this area, even at the midpoint or not. Obviously, you'd have to watch the charts on the small time frames to tell if you're going to go below or not. But obviously, we've kind of used it now, so we can get rid of it. Let me go to the 1 hour now. There we go. Actually, we have some gaps here. I'm not saying, I mean, these aren't very strong. You know, these, you can see like these are really not that strong. Like, they're very small gaps, so there's not anything we're going to see significant. But you can see the trail away from this. You know, we didn't even come back to it. Like, it's a good trail away off of this gap. So this is going to be a significant area of, you know, maybe we bounce off it or we invert it and then continue onwards. But, you know, what we're currently doing, obviously we're coming upwards. We've already came upwards towards this whole, you know, ride up was to come to this order block, you know, once again to find resistance and then obviously come down. So you can see we've tested this twice now. So this is going to be a considerable area. You know, what could happen is, you know, we've got these two highs, pretty relatively equal highs. We could come up towards 58, you know, 9 and have a big move upwards and then come down. That could be our turning point for this, and that would still be a lower high because our previous high before this downwards movement was about 59,463. So as long as we stay below that price, you know, I still expect another move downwards, you know, a lower low, you know, past these lows down here, maybe at 57,150, maybe coming towards, you know, 56,8, 56,5. You know, if we probably go back in time for Bitcoin, we could probably find another low somewhere. Obviously, 56 is my considerable area where I think we're going to have a good bounce off of or a sweep, if you will. If I go back now, here we go. You know, where could our next, you know, price be before we see our lows? You can see, like, you know, we had this low to, or let's say this low to this high, you know, to this low to this high, to these lows to this, you know, rough high area, wherever we're going to end up, then our low is going to be, you know, roughly in this range. I mean, we could come towards 56, like I said, but I don't know if we see that, you know, too yet. It'd be nice if we did, like, obviously, just to speed up the process. But, you know, I'm not, you know, our gradient of downwards movement hasn't been too strong, so our lower high, or lower low, sorry, might not only be at 56, 750, like I said. I was just looking back to see if I could back that up with anything. Well, you got these two lows here. With this low, obviously this was a sweep, so you've got this sweep, so these are previous lows which we could come to. So if we shimmy that across, which, you know, like I said, is roughly in the range of, you know, 56, 650, so that could be our next low potentially. You know, we could you know, we have this movement so far. We could come up and then come down again, and then obviously come up to, I don't know, these lows, or this low, you know, this rough area. I don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that, or this gap here you can see on the 4 hour. We could, you know, invert this and then come down, support down here, invert it, and then continue downwards towards 56. Sweep this, come up again, resistance at these lows. Just continue this general trend. Because like I said, daily, we're coming down. You know, this is our rising wedge we've had. We're coming down roughly, what is suggested, 50k. Minimum, but I don't think that. I think 51, 750, because of, like I said, we had this little gap here. It's nothing too strong, but it's just something to considerable. It's just something to back up, you know, the midpoint. So I could see 51.5 for our low. 51.5 towards 55 or 50,500. Sorry, is where I see our price come to for Bitcoin. So, you know, that rough area could be a good entry, and then obviously coming upwards. But, you know, what would be nice is to have a bounce off of 48,984, because that would just be absolutely gigantic in terms of a double bottom like this, coming all the way back up towards the 72k area. That would be gigantic. But this is a rejection block down here, so we're going to be, you know, I mean, we've had rejection blocks before. We can come to the bottom of it, but, you know, the midpoint is where you want to look for, you know, that rough area. But the midpoint downwards is where this rough area down here is where I expect Bitcoin to come to, whether it be 51.5 or 50,200, wherever it is. That rough range, that $200 range, where I expect Bitcoin to come to. So what I would obviously suggest is, you know, get in. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So get in a bit early. Let's say 51.5, 51.750. I'd rather get in there. You know, maybe a lesser leverage if you are leverage trading, or spot. I mean, again, this is even good to trade spot, because this is a big play. You know, this is going to span you all the way up to breaking out of this bull flag we have up towards 85k. So this is a 65% move. So you don't even have to do multiplication on this. You could do a 10x. You know, that your liquidation wouldn't be that close at all, and then guess what? That's 650% all the way up towards 85k. So, you know, you could do that. That would be a massive play. If we do come to these areas, if I see if Bitcoin at 50, 50, 51, wherever it is, I'm just going to enter it long, and I'm going to sit on it for a long time, take profits on the way up or whatever. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing when we get to that price point, because this is like a long play in the making for me anyway. So other than that, I mean, I'm just throwing ideas out here. I mean, really, like talking about that inverse fair value gap. You know, we could have something like that. We've got this rough fair value gap. I don't think it's anything considerable. You know, considering it. I've just said something twice. I do that all the time. You know, you could go to the 1 hour, have a look at the premium discount, see what sort of position you're in. You are technically negative. You can see. This is liquidity void, and that does line up pretty well. Obviously, if you do these highs from this rough area, you can see where we're entering. This is actually the range. Let's draw it from the range, actually. So this is our really big high. This is our big range. And you can see RB/OB fair value gap. And you can see it roughly enters exactly where the fair value gap is. So this is a good fair. I think this will follow through. It's very small, but I think it'll follow through. Because if you know anything about PD arrays and the levels, they roughly span. This is... Basically, all you need to know is that this is the fair value gap. So within this range, this is pie in the sky again. This isn't anything like confirmed. This isn't anything database. But in theory, this is where you should see fair value gaps form in a discount, where they should follow through. And you can see the wick here. It does enter within this range. So this should be a good area to enter, a reversal on. Not reversal all the way up to, this, that, the other. But it's going to be something where we see some sort of support. But I think it's going to be something like small, where obviously we come up. Let's say we should come down right now. It'd probably be another come down back, maybe towards these areas where this, relatively, it's like a relative order block here. Maybe come back to there and then come down again. Kind of like a like that. You know, just I don't think we come. I don't think this is our turning point all the way up to 60k. I don't think anything like that. I just think it's going to be a small area where we see a bit of a retracement back in you know, these lows. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. But I think that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I'm going to move on now though, because we've got 5 minutes to look at Ethereum and Solana as always. So I've got Solana up actually, really, you know, ready. I don't have the other chart up. But we do have these lines, 127. I've drawn these are a bunch of lines I've already drawn, you know, ages ago. So we are at this line, which is pretty good. Obviously bouncing off this higher line, which I drew back here with these lows. So I drew this. Obviously you can see we are kind of like, you know, 2 equal lows, sweep, good retracement. So it's like, okay, we have these lows. Where can we expect our price to basically, you know, come to? Where it's like, okay, well, let's have a look. We're on the 4 hour. Let's go quickly daily to see, you know, where we could see our you know, price move to. Actually, on the way. Actually, yeah, it's like a double top in it. I talked about double top, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I talked about this on stream. I did talk about this. I talked about us having a double top here. I did talk about that. I did talk about that. You know what? Binance, right? Or YouTube. No, YouTube have it. Someone needs to invent on this a clipping system, right? Because if I claim something, I need someone to clip it for me. Because I distinctly remember saying, I think if we come to this area again, we'll have a double top like this, and then we're going to come all the way back down towards these areas. And technically, this double top spans from this low, so technically, this is a movement downwards. And again, what have we talked about? Bitcoin's going to 50k, which is roughly where that bottom is. So, this, you know, from this low to this high, boom, boom, neckline. So entry on the neckline is where you roughly go to. It's called clip, yeah, exactly. We'll, you know what? I need to ask people on YouTube whenever I claim something. I need to ask them to clip it. I do need. So, you know, like I said, I already talked about this. You can go find the clip yourself. I already talked about us having this double top potentially up here. Obviously, we followed it through pretty nicely now. Obviously, looking at this this midline, like I've already talked about on the 4 hour. If I shimmy back these, pretty good here. Obviously, you know, a decent move downwards, good retracement. But again, it's nothing considerable because this is just you know, our downwards trend on the higher time frame. So it's not like it's going to break us out the trend and completely ignore everything else. It's just a continuation down. And then what do? We use it as resistance twice, which is good. So obviously now it's good to know if we've come to the next line downwards as support. So, you know, we have this little range here. You can see, you know, this kind of retracement. So I mean, as long as we're in this downtrend, you know, on the hourly chart, as long as we stay below that line here at 136, you know, we're probably continuing downwards. But as I've already just shown, the potential for the bottom, if we're not going off prints, you know, it would probably be at this low. I'm not saying we're going to come all the way down, but you know, that's, you know. Hello, even all. I see everyone is bearish again. I've been bearish, mate. I've been bearish, you know. Yeah, I've been bearish for a while. Everyone's catching up, you know. Everyone is catching up. Problem is, though, you know, when the market, when everyone thinks something's going to happen, it does the opposite. Just what happens, isn't it? Yeah, I've been bearish for a while, though. I've been bearish for a while. I mean, ever since I had the rising wedge, I don't know how many consecutive streams I've been bearish, but hey, I've been claiming. I mean, I don't know if we're at neckline time. I don't know where we exactly were, but I think we might have been neckline or maybe 19th of August. I think from 19th of August, potentially, I've been negative. I knew this was going to happen. Obviously, you know, no chart pattern's perfect, but yeah, just claiming it. Bitcoin, bit negative as well. Bit negative. Yeah, so Solana, good movement. I don't. I mean, everything's moving similar. Everyone's moving similar in the market. As of current, anyway. Obviously, we've had a bit of a disparity in some coins, but as of a general, majority of things are moving similar. Bearing in mind what we've got here, you know, this low to this high, you know, this is what we have right now. So what I can only look at is if we're continuing this, we've broke. And the important part as well, breaking past the neckline is where you need to pay attention to if you're going to follow through with this trend line. So in theory, if you're supposed to follow through, all things being equal, this, that, the other, it's only really just started this movement. So I think, similar with Bitcoin, I still think we're in this downtrend. I don't think we're breaking out the rising wedge or this, that, the other. I still think we're moving down. I think Ethereum still has room to move downwards. I think Solana, like I'm showing on screen right now, is still moving downwards. I still think we have this down here. But, you know, as the market continues to... you know what, let me delete some of these lines. I look at this chart every day. No, I don't look at it every day, but I look at it all the time. It is just horrible. Nice little cup handle there, actually. You know what, I haven't actually looked at cup handles in ages. Let me delete some of these lines. Absolutely horrible. These lines back here especially. It's just hard. I don't know what this is up there. Oh yeah, this was our really long thing, wasn't it? We did this on stream like one day. But yeah, actually I'm not really looking at too much. Unless I'll look at the hour on Solana. But in terms of long term, like I've already shown, I think we're coming down. So let's take that with us onto the 1 hour. So you can see, yeah, really nice movement, or really nice on these lines here. Really, really nice. As long as we stay below this, which I don't think is too hard to do. We also pretty much filled this, which is nice. So we could see this. I don't know if we've had a gap everywhere. Obviously, technically on the hard time, we've got this gap which we flipped now. So it could be like a bang, flip, come up. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what's happening on the short time frames. Well, actually, we've got a gap up here. Obviously, 30 minutes pretty good. Lower time frames can line up pretty well as well for some gaps. Regardless if you look at the hard time frame or not. So we could be coming to that. Obviously, we're kind of chopping right now. We're having a bit of uncertainty. A lot of wicks, not really big bodies. So a lot of uncertainty going on in this movement, and we haven't quite reached this gap. If we were to invalidate it or not, but we can. It's more so of a print outside. Obviously we print outside here, but now we're coming back down. So it's more so of a. You can see we've had this gap on the 30-minute. We came to it, we came down, but technically we came down. So I can't really argue against it now that I'm thinking about it. You can see like we kind of had two things going on. Again, this isn't really much of an invalidation. You kind of have to print outside of it. You kind of have to have a candle body outside of it. So you can see, body here, came down to this body here, coming up again towards this next body. I think so anyway. 15-minute could be pretty good to look at. A gap here, but you can see we kind of worked out. So we've got a lot of big candles here and there with gaps. But let me just go back to the 1 hour. We could still see this moving upwards. I'm not too sure on that one though. Actually, no, that's not really an order block there. I'll delete that though. So like I said, as long as we stay below this line, we're still in this downtrend. And again, bearing in mind what we've got the hard time frame, I still think we continue downwards for this. Actually, quite a nice movement outside of this trend line, which is really good. Trend line, sweep, bang, dump. This is really good actually. Having this dump from this line. But normally what could happen with these trend lines is you kind of flip them. So you can see we've kind of used it, flipped it, we've bounced off it here, so now we're kind of coming up again. But I don't think we flip this line. Oh, this high up here, I don't really flip it in the slightest. We could, if it's not really that big of a candle or of a wick, sorry. So I don't think it's some sort of rejection block or anything. I don't really think there's anything concerning or considerable there, sorry. So I think I just think we're continuing in our downtrend. I don't really think there's much more to say about it. I think what I'm focused on more so instead of the lower time frames is this general trend. And I think you should probably trade your coins, obviously, or in my opinion, I'm going to trade Solana based on what I know about this right now. And with the market in general, as I think most of things are moving down. In general, like I said. So let's go to Ethereum though, because I've yapped a bit, and I always go over a bit. This isn't the chart I use. That's also not the chart I use. There we go. What did I look at? I looked at it going up, didn't I? Yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of this dive. We're actually in the same position we were. Actually, in the exact same position. Actually, a very, very nice rejection block, which I think I already drew actually on this. I already drew it. Let me redraw because I drew it here, but it's not that big. Rejection block, you can see we've used it and that will come up again. So we could form this this gap here. Obviously, this is like stopped out because it's similar to Solana, because both Ethereum and Solana was like being pretty weird in terms of doing what they're doing. They're doing pretty funky stuff. But to be fair, I'm glad they're moving similar. Actually, also another. This is actually pretty choppy. You can see with this, like I said, moving. The uncertainty is crazy, especially on the. You can see it easily on the daily. Obviously, if you go on the lower time frames, you'll see stronger moves or more obvious moves. You can see in these 2 consecutive days, big wick. Literally, the bodies aren't even existent. Rejection block here, just absolutely stuck. Came into this one, probably coming up to this one, and then probably gonna come back into this area. It's literally just stuck. So let me get a bit closer in. As you can see, like obviously this was where the gap was. Obviously formed it again here, so just formed this range here. Obviously wick down into this into this gap again, which is actually weird. But we did have a higher low than this low, which is a good sign. But still relatively equal lows. And what I talk about on the stream, I talked about having relatively equal lows coming back up towards these areas. So unless maybe it's more so of a timing thing rather than a movement thing. But again, are we really going to pump when everything else is looking like we're going down? I don't think so. I do not think so. So this doesn't happen. That's fair enough though. So let's delete it because it didn't go through. That setup just was not there. But you can see this is actually good. This is actually a good gap because you can see there's strength in this movement, but these two are uncertain. There's big wicks, but there's a really big inefficiency here. And this also lines up with the top, again, gold back levels. This lines up with the top of this equilibrium. So what did I talk about in terms of staying above this equilibrium? You can see stayed above. Obviously, we printed below this one, but it's more so of a you print below, let's say coming to this 2,380, printing below this line. That's when you know you're in a concerning period. But again, what have I talked about? Gaps and mitigation blocks. There's blocks. I think it's back here. We looked at it. You know, there's something back here. I can't remember what it was. But we've got a gap. We've got blocks there. We've got supports below these this equilibrium. And the important part is staying above the equilibrium and printing and coming back up. You know, if you have 2 or 3 candles printing downwards below, that's when you know you're in a concerning period. But you can see here wick and prints, wicks, slight prints, but coming right back up again. So this is a good area. So it's good to know that we've now got something below us at the top of the equilibrium area, which means you know, obviously you've got this, there's no gap, there's nothing here either, maybe some sort of order block, but you can see we slightly used it here. You can see if I draw this order block across, but we flipped it again to dump. So obviously, again, going back to that idea of uncertainty, if we go to the daily, we had these 2 rejection blocks, you know, formed this one, you can see this wick, came back up into this rejection block, came down to the bottom rejection block, and now we're coming back up again. So probably coming back up to this rejection block again, maybe ending either midpoint or this area. You can see there's some sort of area. It's 2,570-ish. So maybe ending there. But again, like I said, a gap at the where the midpoint is exactly at the meeting of the equilibrium, where we've also got this nondescript rectangle. It might be an order block. So you can see the lineup's pretty crazy. You've got this equilibrium point, you've got the top of this potentially order block, wherever this is, and this fair value gap. It shows pretty good signs. And again, what are we right now? We're in a bit of equilibrium. So if we had a fair value gap forming below us, that's when you know it's pretty good. So a fair value gap of support forming in a period above, it's a bit shaky. But again, this is technically forming in a rough area of equilibrium. You can see from here. So it's a bit of those ones where it's like, you know, are we going to flip it or not? But, you know, when you've got fair value gaps below, this one's perfect. This one's a really good one. You know, it's you're in the discount area. You've got a fair value gap forming. You know this is going to be good. And again, wick to it, came up. Really good response off it. You know, midpoint exactly, coming up towards 8.6%. It's also on the flip side here. You can see that this is going to be a good fair value gap up here, especially when it comes to these lines here. You know, you got what is it again? It's so this area is a fair value gap. So this area is good. And again, this backs it up more. Remember what I said about the PD arrays? You know, rejection block, order block, fair value gap. Look at it. Look how good that was. It's just good like that, you know. Do some research, you know. Just go about levels. That's all I'll say. Yeah, like I said, we could still have potential for this, but general market, this, that, the other, I do think we should probably come down, man. I just really do think we should come down. Especially, you know, if we consider how the market has done with, you know, you can technically see some sort of... it's rough. I don't really think so. I mean, Ethereum's looking a bit... You know, it's not looking nice. You know, it's actually not a nice look. We actually did have this expanding triangle here, you can see. I'm sorry it's black, you can't see. But there's an expanding triangle there, bringing us down. But it is a lot shaky. Like, Solana's a bit obvious what it's doing. You can see the double top. Bitcoin's a bit more obvious. Bitcoin's nice to look at. Ethereum's really just like rough, especially these rejection blocks. This just proves what I'm thinking. Where, like, you know, this isn't easy. This isn't like a nice chart when you've got these 2 rejection blocks just completely stuck or sticking in this range here. So I think staying within this, you know, we've already come to fill this one, you know, as support. Probably going to come to fill this one as resistance at, you know, 2,600, and then, you know, we'll take it from there, I suppose. But, you know, if we've come down again, had relatively equal lows for a double bottom, coming up again, then there's no, you know, really saying that we should come up. And again, also bearing in mind, we've got a negative fair. Okay, it's hard to see, but look where this midpoint is. The midpoint of this fair value gap on the daily fair value gap is exactly where this GB level is. So this is a good lineup for a consequent encroachment, aka coming to the midpoint. Really, really good. And again, what is this? RB Hold on, where's this line? This is liquidity void. This is breaker block down here. So this is this makes sense that we came down like this. But again, regardless, even if you go back, go over levels or not, we're still technically in this premium. So going off this ideology, it should be, if you're in the premium, you should look for these negative, especially when you've got something this big. Actually, no, we've worked into it. I didn't even see this. I'm stupid. I've got so much stuff on my chart. But yeah, this actually was a good movement then. We've already used it. I've just yapped for no reason. So yeah, I mean, what we could do though, to be fair, is you can see we've had this bullish fair value gap, which inverted it. Again, we're in a premium, so you don't want to look for these, but positive fair value gap, flipped it, never came back to it, so we've still got this outstanding. So something like here at 2,700 could be pretty good. And again, what do we have? Gold back level. We've got this potentially order block, whatever this is. So you've got a good lineup at this midpoint. You know, you've got the gold back level, you've got this wick, you've got this here, you've got a good amount of stuff here. You know, coming from this to here. We haven't actually come back into it, so it could be you know, come into this, and then come down again. So it could be something like that. But there's just that to bear in mind. We do have another resistance at 2,700. Obviously 2,600 is pretty big, so we have some resistance. I don't think we go up. I think we come down. I just think it's a matter of time. But anyway, I've done that on the all three coins. So let me go onto the chat, have a little look at what people are saying there in terms of coins. Alex12118k, shout out please. Well, there you go. Shout out to you. Waiting for the chat. Someone said hello in a flower. Appreciate it. I think we actually had a chat though in the YouTube which told me what was in Binance. Can't suggest 4 coins. I'm taking up my time. I could do one of the coins. But I'll make a dupe on them. It's a long one. Hey bro, how are you? I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Let me look at the chat. I'm just trying to find some coins. I can get started on one of them. Maybe I can do dupe. Actually, you know what? I will look at dupe again because it's been a while since I've looked at dupe. I think my chart's on a different area. So let me have a little nosy. I think it's on here. I don't know if it's on this one. Oh yeah, this is daily, isn't it? Yeah. What do we have? So, daily, there we go. So I don't know what these lines are. It seems like we use this line well. We flipped this, which is good. Oh yeah, I already drew this gap when I talked about it. Good highs. This is good. If you zoom in on the lower time frames, you'll see these are going to be good equal highs. Sweep, good moving downwards. This is really good. This was just really good movement here. Also technically like a relative equal high, double top kind of thing going on here. Coming down to potentially this low. Good all block here actually. I think it's good. I'm not sure. I haven't actually checked it yet. A decent all block, to be fair. Decent all block. But we flipped it. I'm going to delete it though because we're kind of here and there with it. But this is going to be good resistance. Bro, do you have any social media? I do have a Twitter. I need to start posting on it. I haven't posted in ages. Because I've been really busy with a lot of other stuff. We have Telegram though. That's mostly important. It's technically a social media. It's a group. We talking. Description of where you are, Binance right now. Scroll down. First one, TG. Join there. That's the only thing I can really recommend. If you do have a Telegram, I do have a Twitter. We have a Crypto Warehouse Twitter with Mike. Runs that one. You can join that. I think it's in the description as well. Yeah, Twitter there. And obviously our YouTube is our obviously main area. But yeah, I would recommend Telegram if you do have it, because that's where I am and Mike. That's where everyone is. If not, then you can join the Twitter, which is also in the description, or in the description where you are now. Also, what I actually want to point out is we do have this rejection block, which we've actually come to the midpoint of now. So just something to bear in mind. You can see back here was the exact same thing. You can see came to rough area midpoint and then came up again. So we could see bounce upwards, which you could line up if we draw from here to here. These highs, obviously drawing up to here. You can see that this this fair value gap, this flip of it, is actually above the equilibrium, so is in a premium area. So you want to look for negative. You don't really want to look for another thing. And again, ranges, unless you break out above it, which is when you change your range then to be higher. To be fair, actually though, unless you range expand though. To be fair, like once you reach like, let's say you reach 9,880, you then change your range. That is the expansion price. You know, at 0.11 and minus 0.11 or 0.11. So or 1.11 and minus 0.11 for the Fibonacci tool. These are your expansion areas. Like if you enter these areas, you want to expand. And again, I've just drawn this really quickly, but regardless, you can see in a premium area above equilibrium. And guess what? Look how perfectly it is above equilibrium. Like, look at this lines. Like, look how good that is. It is exactly above equilibrium. So you already know. Yours again. Nothing's ever perfect. Always bear that in mind. There's no strategy which is ever like 100% right. There's no this, that, the other. As long you make your strategy work. Let's be fair. Like anyone could trade anything, as long as they have a nice. They have. I want to say not nice. It's gotten to that part of the stream. It happens pretty much every stream I do, where my words start coming out in the wrong order and everything, and I need just a quick sip of water to just bring me back in. But going back to what I was saying, nothing's ever perfect. No strategy. Obviously, I do talk about having appropriate risk management is what makes a slightly mediocre strategy a good strategy when you have a good risk management, because a lot of things can work. You know, you need to weed out either either figure something out for yourself, which is hard to do, but can work, and you could get some sort of edge, or you use a general strategy, or this, that, the other. You make your. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really following a specific strategy. I kind of just incorporate different things, and sometimes I feel this, sometimes I feel that. You know, there's not a strategy which could work for every single thing ever. So you do need to be able to adapt, which is I think one of the most important skills to have in trading and a lot of things actually is being able to adapt and learning how to learn is something. I'm yapping a bit here, but I think the two things that I think are really valuable skills is learning to adapt at a good pace and learning how to learn, like meta learning, if you know what I mean. So like learning how to be efficient in like knowing yourself, like how you learn, not like a read cover write scenario, but knowing what you need to do in order to learn something either fast or just appropriately. I think that is an important thing to know, you know, in general. And like I said, being able to adapt and maybe changing and being aware that you need to change things sometimes. Like, you know, if you look back in some of my old streams a couple months ago, I was using market cipher and chart patterns, but some things just weren't working for me than others, and I just didn't feel like it sometimes. But again, like I said, no strategy is ever going to work. The way I do things now, it never always works 100% of the time. But you know, I just prefer it. I just you can go through phases. I just feel like I need a bit of a change. So for me, for example, I did switch up a bit. But anyway, I've yapped. So like I said, we're in a premium area here, and we've got a fair value gap. So what do you know? This basically gives you a slight bit of a tilt in terms of it's a 50-50. Well, no, in this case, you're above an equilibrium point, and you've got a buy area. So you should roughly think, I should be on edge about this. You know, I should be aware that this potentially might not work. You know, this we might invest this, and obviously, what have we done? We've invested it because guess where we are? We're here. And again, I mean, I'm going to go back to it. This is why I knew we weren't going to go up for Bitcoin as well, because we were way too high. We're way too high. Way too high. We're in the premium of the premiums. We've expanded. We're in premium. This is when you know it's crazy. When you've moved up to 65k and people are drawing bull flags. Come on, it's ridiculous. And like, I don't understand how people can miss this. And again, if you hate chart patterns, that's your thing. But look, it's probably one of the most perfect respects in terms of the candle bodies I've ever seen of a chart pattern. Look how perfect that is. And I knew it. I knew when I saw that fair value gap form on the 4-hour daily, and everyone was saying, "Oh, guess what we've got? We've got a fair value gap. We're going to go up." I knew we're way too high for this fair value gap to fully follow through. And we're not in some sort of expansionary time. You know, we're not in price discovery. We're not in a period where prices can really, really rocket. We're in a bad situation. We've got this rising wedge. We've got potential for inverse head and shoulders. I just had this feeling that we weren't going to hold this fair value gap. We were going to flip it. Lo and behold, what happened? We flipped it. We came back in, and then we dumped and followed through the rising wedge. It's just one of those things. It is just one of those things. And again, I wouldn't have known this if I did market cipher, because again, these indicators, I don't like. Data is really, really valuable, but I just think like oscillators and that sort of stuff, unless you really, really weed it out with something else, I don't use them as much anymore. Because again, like I just said, I take it from me. Like I know stuff just wasn't working sometimes. I just knew I need to kind of change things up a bit. But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I don't know how you couldn't say this. Not in an insulting way. I do apologize if I did, offend anyone. I didn't mean that. I just think like it was a really, really like strong pattern. So then when people are going on the 1 hour and looking at positive chart patterns, I just couldn't agree with it. I really, really couldn't. Really couldn't. But anyway, I've yapped. I'm sorry. I've gone off topic. But yeah, back to Jupiter. We're in a premium. This wasn't going to happen. We flipped it. Again, like I just said, it's never going to be, oh yeah, we're in a premium. We are totally going to invest this. We're never going to use a positive fair value gap. That's not true. There's never 100. There's never 100%. There's never really a true 100% in any regard for the market. There's something which is strongly, correct, or this, that, the other, but there's never something which is 100% right. But like I said, premium, we should invest this. Guess what we did? We invest it. So now, if we draw onto the inverse, we can see where our range is. And guess what? The midpoint lines up with, I think this is an order block. It lines up perfectly with this order block. So we've got 85 cent pretty much perfectly as a resistance point. So just to bear in mind, we've come to this rejection block. We're on the daily here, so this is our wide range. If we really draw, bang, 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 a high. Okay, cool, we're shifting the market. Came down. Okay, cool, we've come down now. So this is a lower low, but we've also put a higher high. So we're kind of having this expansion. So we could see a move upwards just as strong. I don't think so, though, because guess what we've got? A negative fair value gap, a negative order block, 85 cent, I think we come to, and then we come down again. But, again, bearing in mind what the market's doing, the market's going down. Are we going to see this move up? I don't know if look, okay, let's see. Okay, let's just see. Let's be real with the chat right now. Are we going to see a 16% move up for Dupe? Considering what the market's doing. I don't... Okay, look at how accurate this is following with the market. It's following pretty well the market. It's following nicely. So are we really... Because, if it was one of these altcoins where it's not following anything else the market's doing, I would be more lenient. But again, I think this is going to be a resting inverse fair value gap, which we're not going to see just yet. So what could happen is we could come to equilibrium at 80 cent instead, and then come down again. So yeah, anyway, let me read the chat. I see some people talking. Let me bring it up actually in front of me. Let me have a nosy. What did I just say? I need to drink some water again. No, not Marcus Alpha. Look, every YouTuber uses that crap. I mean, yeah, like I said, yeah, I mean, I think some things are worse than others, but again, like I said, I think there's a lot of things which can work. Obviously, I think a lot of it comes down to personal opinion. I mean, there are probably some things which are subjectively bad, but I think a lot of things can work with the right with the right methodology of going about it. Personally, I mean, I used it for a while, but I just personally didn't find it. I enjoyed reading it. I understood it, but there was just moments where like things would just happen, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And I just knew then. I was like, I don't personally feel like this is something I want to use as my strategy. But people, there's people who've probably made profit off many strategies. So I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying oscillators are horrible and you should never use them. I think there are some which are better than others. I think some which are more purer, like some like RSI stuff. I think you can take some sort of weighting on them, but I don't think it should be your main goal. But I think again, like I said, there's a lot of people who have major profitability just looking at price action. So it's one of those things where I do think it's down to personality. I think your risk management is where some things make or break your trading. I'm not saying I'm again. If you listen to me talking about this and you think, oh my god, this guy's a goat, I'm not saying. I'm really not saying. Like, I'm not some amazing person. I do my stuff and I show it. And if people enjoy it and people think it's good and want to follow for it, there you go, follow for it. But if you don't like it, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I just do think, again, if you have the right strategy towards using it, I don't like if you have like one indicator or two indicators on screen and you think they're gospel and you use them directly, you know, I think that's where my mistake was, to be fair, as well. Like sometimes I'd use it a bit too strongly. But anyway, most indicators are lying anyway. Yeah, exactly. Most things are. But anyway, like I said, do I see? I think this might, you know, lay dormant for a bit. I don't think we're going to see this 85 cents. I could be wrong. Jupiter could have a pump, but considering what the market's doing, and considering how high we'd have to move for Jupiter, although it's following the market, I don't think we see it. So I think it'll stay there dormant. I think what we could do, you can see here, we used 75 cent as a good 74.5 as a good resistance line. So we could see there again, or we could see coming up towards 80 cent as resistance in terms of equilibrium, is what I could see. Let's go to the small time frame to see if there's something a bit more, you know, exact. Having a little nosy now. We've got some lines here and there. You've got a bit of choppiness at 78 cent, but you can see here as well, we've got this order block in equilibrium, which is nice. And obviously, where's the bottom of that order block? 79.5, 80 cent. So we do have resistance at this line. There's no doubt about it. We've also got this line consistently at 77.8, and we've got this line at 74. I'm telling you, gold back levels are really, really good. I think they're really, really good. You can see resistance at equilibrium, resistance at this line, resistance at this line, and support at this line. Come up to here. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Gold levels. Again, these aren't like perfect or anything, but yeah. So I definitely think we'll see resistance at 74.4. We've already seen that already. We could stay below there. We could have, you know what we could have? We could have like a little mini head and shoulders going on, coming back up towards 77. I think we could see this area max. I do think, again, I don't think we're seeing anywhere higher than 81 cent. I don't think we see this fair value gap. I don't think we see anywhere here. I think we do another lower low, or lower high, sorry, and we come down again. As with the market, we've already come through this rejection block, so I think we're going to delete it, and I think we're going to come down continuously, is what I see for the market anyway. Let me have a little nosy in the chat. Bounce, you did very nice live, thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Just give me my money. Yeah, there's someone complaining about the boxes and stuff. Guys, they're not going to make you rich, alright? Like this guy, 250 ship for 150 people. Mate, like, what do you think we're going to give you? Like a mortgage or something? Like, I don't really know what you expect from this, mate. If you don't like it, you can leave. Like, really, you don't have to be here to use it. Like, save it for the rest of the people if you don't want it. So, anyway, read the YouTube chat, because I've zoomed out, and it's really, 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 really small. GPU stack for summer 2025. Yeah, I definitely think in long term it's definitely going to pump like that. We've actually got 2 minutes away from 10 o'clock. I am lenient though, to be fair, so I can go over 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I think there are more coins. Oh, there's more chat into the market stuff. He's made his own thing. He sent me a link to it. He's getting mad. He might go green. I'm not getting mad. Yeah. I'll tab real quick. It's very interesting live. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll plug this. I mean, we've got about 2 minutes left. I guess I'll just plug some things, I suppose. So if you do want to, join the Telegram, come talk to us. There's brilliant people in the community. It's not only me and Mike in there. There's a bunch of people in the community within Crypto Warehouse who are brilliant, very brilliant people. If you do want to go talk to them, there's a bustling conversation in the Telegram. So if you do want to go talk to us or anybody in the community, want to be part of it, and you enjoy the stream, whatever, come to join Telegram. And while you're down there, consider liking the stream or following if you're so inclined and you do want to see more of this content. And if you want to get super interested, it's $2.99 a month. Membership YouTube supports the channel. It's not gonna change, it's not gonna break the bank. Obviously, do not feel pressured into anything or whatnot. But check mainly not only the Telegram though. Just check the links in the description anyway. They're all pretty important. So if you do want to get in contact with us or anything like that, do go join there. And if you did enjoy the stream, I'll just reset the chat. If you do enjoy the stream or have enjoyed the stream, because we might end it soon actually. I'll go to the Bitcoin one. I'll go to the daily Bitcoin one final time just to show you guys the general movement. 58,446. Yeah, nothing crazy. So if you did enjoy it and you're like, okay, this is really cool content, I like this, where can I find more? Obviously Telegram mainly. But if you follow us, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Binance, you will get notified whenever we're live again. or doing some videos, obviously, if you're on YouTube. Obviously, Mike does the morning streams. He does it more so than I do. I'm back, though, on Wednesday or Thursday. It could be Thursday. I mean, I want to see, again, this is daily. This is going to happen from the 3rd of September all the way to the 21st of September. So I'm not saying I want to see what happens the first couple of days of being in the manipulation phase, but I'm quite interested to see what's going on. Especially resolving in this rising wedge. I do want to see what's going to happen. So I'll probably be back, I think, Thursday. I might be back Thursday. It could be Wednesday. Again, follow us. Go to Telegram's where we talk, you know. So if you do want to know when the next live is or information or any screenshots of charts, do go and join the Telegram, because that's where you can come ask for it and come get it. So yeah, I think it might be a Thursday, it might be Wednesday, I'm not too sure, but follow, notifications, all that stuff. And I don't know what else. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Let me just check this. I just want to see this. Actually, what we haven't checked in a while, I will check before the stream ends, is I want to check the OI and CVD just to see what's going on. Oh yeah, the OI is broken on this, isn't it? Forgot about that. Okay, I'll have to go somewhere else, aren't I? Why is the open interest broken? That's weird. Am I stupid, maybe? Oh, why am I not on... That's weird. Ah, there we go, perfect. Oh yeah, I drew this. I don't know what I was drawing, so let's just delete it and get it out of the way. And delete this actually as well. So, see what's the situation. So we slowly have an increase in OI, especially in the periods we have increase in contracts. Our volume starts to go from negative to positive. So it seems like people are still opening longs. We can see people open long, get out. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. This was a really important price point here. You can see that these wicks, especially at the 50x, probably coming down to 20x. But you can see, where's 20x. If you go read Binance Futures 2019 data, the most common, I believe it was the most common leverage amount. I don't know if it was for Bitcoin or for every coin, was 20x. So that is one of the crucial areas if you consider it or not. And what price do you notice 20x is at? 56k. I rest my case. Obviously 10x, where's 20x? 53k. Yeah, I mean we've got different areas here, there, and everywhere. We don't really have anything considerable in terms of the open contracts. The only last one was this on 2 p.m. Wednesday. That's the only last considerable one for me anyway. Obviously, you can look at daily. You can look at if I go to my not liquidation estimation. That's the wrong one. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. There is liquidation estimation by candle. That one there. This is. You can see it's longs as volume comes in. Oh no, it's shorts actually. You can see it's coming up, and no, we actually did fair. It's coming up and the volume's coming up. So this is technically long liquidations. Here we go. So where's 20x? We've already kind of come into it. But again, you can see the outstanding prices from these. I'm not saying we're gonna have to close every single contract, but this is just kind of like pie in the sky stuff again. So you can see we've still got a bunch of contracts open, especially from these closes here. So we've still got 20x area, still got 10x area, but these are roughly the same prices as we had on the small time frames. So again, it's the same. It's just the same thing, just drawn out a bit. So yeah, I mean, I could still see us come towards 20x again, 56k, like I already said. 10x, we could see that again at 53. I just think we eventually come through all these levels and just sweep all this. But again, these contracts are going to last a long time. So there's probably a bunch of just get out, not based on liquidations or not. So just bear that in mind as well to remember. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's leave that on the screen as well. If you want any more information on any of the things I've mentioned, in terms of my tools, or not my tools, but the things I use to do TA, if you want anything, any information on that, go about levels, these AMDs, that if you want to ask me how do you draw these AMD cycles, I can give a brief explanation, because I do other things in my day. I'm not gonna spend 4 hours explaining stuff. It shouldn't take 4 hours, but if you do want to come ask about how I do things or whatever, come ask. More so, come ask. I'll probably emphasize come ask in the stream, because it's easier, because I'm already on the live and it's easier for me to explain stuff as I'm showing it on the charts. But if you do want to ask any questions or want any information on tools, then come ask. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it a lot, especially if you. I mean, I don't discriminate. I do not discriminate in the slightest. But if you were here since the start of the stream and you're here at the end of the stream, I shout out to you, especially. But if you're here anyway, Thank you very much. I'll be back probably Thursday. I think I might be Thursday, but we'll see though. And yeah, come to Telegram, get notified, and that's about it. Thank you. Goodbye.